In Master Angler, I hook up with gun fisho Ben Smith. Gaining knowledge as a youngster working alongside commercial fishermen, Ben enthusiastically passes on that knowledge to packed out tackle stores on the Gold Coast, as well as on his YouTube channel, Ship Faced Fisherman.
You guys are in.
Hey Andy.
Going, mate?
Good mate, good to see you again. Oh yeah, we can't do that, can't shake hands, got to touch elbows.
I've got Benny here from Ship Faced Fishing, and you know, we went out fishing a couple of weeks ago, and we had a good little sesh and double hookups and
had a bit of fun.
Hooking up marlin on the bottom.
Yes,
you handled that well, didn't you?
Yeah, we did. We tried our best on gear that's not really designed for marlin.
What do you like chasing?
Oh mate, yeah, snapper are good. Anything's good. Any fish is good. Getting out and chasing anything's good. Well, firstly, my wife's a Kiwi and she likes eating snapper, so when you get sent out to catch snapper, you sort of refine the art of catching snapper, and we've been out catching snapper since we were kids, you know, and you just get used to it. You get used to what you do the most, I guess, and you get better at it, and people think, oh, look at that guy, he just goes out and catches them all the time. But you know, we have duds too from time to time. We go out and come home with nothing, so
been there,
you know. We've been out heaps and come home with all sorts, or come home with nothing, or come home with a few. And some days you go out chasing snapper and you come home and you don't get snapper, you come home with mackerel. Or I think last weekend we went out chasing something or other, and we came across some dollies at one of the fads and just thought, bugger it.
I saw that.
Yeah.
That was mad.
That was mad. That was good. Yeah. So in half an hour we had our 10 good sized dollies and headed home.
That was a weekend you were supposed to invite me out, and I slept in or something, wasn't it?
That was a weekend I thought I had about 30 people to invite out.
Say, you know, you've got your boat, you want to get out there, you don't know much. If you don't know much, it's probably going to be pretty hard.
Yeah.
Like locations, things like that. Where are you looking?
Well, there's a couple of things you got to do first. First, you got to pick your weather. If you haven't got the right weather, the right moon, the right tide, the right everything to do with the weather, don't bother.
You know, if it's rough, don't go out. Or I mean, we know snapper love rough. Yeah,
we do. So you just got to really get used to the boat that you're in. You need to know what your capabilities are in your boat first off. Everybody just wants to go out wide and catch big snapper, or go up in the bay, or go wherever and catch snapper. Pick your weather. You got to play it safe.
Temperature,
yeah. Snapper do tend to like the cooler water. You know, but we've caught them. Mate, we were catching snapper in 25-degree water the other day. But yeah, generally the cooler water, winter months, generally they come in off the Gold Coast here to spawn.
May, April,
June, July, August, September, October, November. Sometimes they thin out in November. You get some big ones. But yeah, middle of the year, June, July, August. That's when you get your big ones. So if you want to pick a time, middle of the year, middle to just after June, July, August. Your sunrise is always good to be there for. Your moonrise is always good to be there for. So what I mean by moonrise is, I don't know where the moon is today, it was over there, it's probably down over the horizon now, but some afternoons, like if we can't get out early in the morning, we'll wait till the afternoon and we'll look for when the moon is going to rise over the horizon. And usually when that happens, the fish come on the bite. Just walk outside each day. You don't, like, there's charts that tell you all this, there's apps on your phone that tell you all this.
You got waxing and
all that, you got all sorts of stuff, but just walk outside, look where the moon is, and you'll see it's in a different position each day, and just follow it till you get to a point where say 2 or 3 in the afternoon, the sun is coming over the horizon. And in winter it's usually dark by about 5, so between when that moon rises and when the sun goes down, you usually get a pretty good bite at that time of the month. So yeah, it's more what time of the month. But yeah, if you're going in the morning, be out there before the sun comes up. I know sometimes it's dangerous crossing bars, that's why you've got to follow your weather a week out. Go for a drive down to the bar, to the seaway or somewhere, and have a look, see what it's doing, so that you know on the morning you want to cross that bar at 4 or 4:30 to be out on the fishing grounds before the sunrise. You know it's going to be flat. Yeah, all those things you need to put in perspective, weather-wise, weather and as I say, cooler water temp.
Do you think tides have much to do with it?
Yeah, tides do have a bit to do with it. When you get right out offshore, you know, just after a change of tide's usually pretty good, about 2 hours. But yeah, you can catch them sort of any time. I think it's a matter of if you can find them, you'll catch them, and that's the big thing is finding them.
Finding them.
Yeah,
finding their homes.
Yeah, knowing. Everybody wants a GPS spot, and they go to a GPS spot and they want to throw the anchor down, and they think that's where my mate got them. That's where I'm going to get them. But no, it just doesn't happen like that. You go find your own spot. Use GPS mark to find some reef, but use your sounder to sound out. You know, the difference between whether your current going from this way or current going from the other way could mean that they're 20 metres that side of a patch of reef or 20 metres this side of a patch of reef. You know, yeah, different things change, so you really need to learn how to use your sounder and find them.
Yeah, and last time you said, look, you know, you go past them, drift straight over the top of them.
Yeah.
But even you've got to get that right, because then you've got the current taking your, you know, your sinkers along. And you're talking about whether your sinker was too light or too heavy, but if it's just right, you're still going to get change there.
Yeah, that's right, absolutely.
You got to really try and find a way of hitting that target.
Oh,
or going through the target.
Your target area. So everything's got to be timed right. So yeah, you do a dummy run or two, or you quite often I won't even. I'll drive over the patch of reef and sound them out. So I go right, they're there, but I'll continue driving for 100 or 200 metres past it, pull the boat out of gear, see where I'm going to drift, and for me, the drift is the most productive way of getting them. I know a lot of people spot lock. I know a lot of people like to anchor and burley, and that's good. And in Moreton Bay, that's a really good way of doing it, because it just works better up there in the shallows. You can get to a patch, but when you're offshore, there's nothing like a good drift. You've just got to move and present your bait with the water column, and that's why I say using your sinkers. Everybody said, what size sinker do you use? Well, there's no given size. You just need to use the size that allows you to present the bait properly. You know,
too heavy, you hit the bottom. Too light, you're way out in yonder.
That's right. Yeah. And when you can identify a snapper on your sounder, you'll see the biggest ones. Or if you go to an aquarium somewhere, like if you go to SeaWorld, or if you go down,
I took a fishing rod in there once.
Yeah, how'd you go?
They kicked me out.
yeah. They probably do more than that, mate. yeah. No, if you go to an aquarium, the big snapper right up the top, all the little fish are down the bottom. If you use a big snapper lead, it'll hit the bottom, and you'll get all the little pickers, pick your bait apart. But yeah, we use another method. Some people call it stray lining. The Kiwis call it stray lining. The Aussies call it float lining. The Yanks call it something else. There's all different terminology, but basically it's using a very light sinker and letting your bait waft down naturally through the zone. And you'll notice if you're watching your sounder, the fish will come up. I've got soundings of, and I've put them on some of my videos. You can actually see the fish coming up to your bait, taking it and going back down. And that's where you get the big snapper, usually, you know, 10, 15, 20 metres off the bottom. It'll be on the drop. You know, the last video I did with Gary, he turned around, the first thing he said, that was on the drop, that was on the drop. You know, we're fishing 60, 70 metres of water, and he had 40 metres of line out, and it started to zizz.
Wow.
You know what I mean? And that's when all the big snapper, well, that I've caught, usually hit.
And so, were you burling up at the time?
No, that time we weren't. That time they were just on. So when they're on, there's times when they're just on, and anything that's in the water is just going to get smashed. There's other times when, like when you were out with me a couple of weeks ago, we used a bit of burley, and you could see the difference. It looks like there's a little bit of stuff on the bottom, but once we get the burley going, it all came alive.
They came from everywhere, mate.
Yeah, it came alive, and then then you just slip down your little sneaky bait in between all that, and off she goes. So yeah, a lot of drop it back, you know, free spool. That's all. you know, the idea of that is to let the bait just do its own thing. You know, if you're jerking and pulling and dropping and doing all the stuff, nah, they'll just. And you see, once you've had a crack at a couple of big ones, they sort of, the rest of them get to know what's going on. So you either need to say that's a day, or you just need to go to find another patch of reef.
Yeah, like brim.
Yeah.
There can be brim everywhere. You catch a couple of them, and the next day all spook.
Yeah, they all spook. They all say, yeah, no, that's enough. Yeah. Quite often, if you do get a big one and you get him up a fair way and you drop him, the rest will all go off too. So you really should try your best to get them in if you can.
They reckon they put off some kind of distress
signal or enzyme or
there's
something.
danger. Yeah. So you know, just talking about that, so basically you're getting taps, right?
Yeah.
You can feel it.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
You're just letting it go, mate. You're letting it go, and you need to. Yeah. See, this is where you can only get the feel for it once you've done it a few times. It'll just start to go from under your thumb, and you just need to be patient, and you'll feel when that spooling out process feels right for you to lock up and put some load on it and pop that hook in.
You feeding it out between your fingers, the braid?
I'm just thumbing it. Yeah, I'm just thumbing it off. I'm just thumbing it. Yeah, no, I'm not. It's just one hand, because I use a bait caster now for my snapper.
Good idea.
Yeah, these new bait casters, they got all the drag you could ever need. Like, you can catch big snapper on these. But yeah, it's just that thumb there.
So if we're hooking up, and I'll just give it to the young fella over here.
He can't run fast enough.
That's
so
right.
So I fish in free spool all the time.
Got it on free spool.
So it'll be there, and I'm just
and
it'll start popping out like that, and it'll get faster and faster and faster and faster. Go, pull. Yeah, and when it starts going really fast, I'll just press down a little bit with my thumb, and if he lets go, I'll let go with my thumb straight away.
Perfect.
You know what I mean? I'll just put the pressure on if he's pulling, and if he lets go, and then I'll wait till it starts going again. So when it starts going again, pull. I'll lock down, and when it starts pulling real hard and the rod loads up like that, bang.
Fish on.
And then quite often it'll just reef it down, and you've really got to try and lock up there.
Good stuff. Wander in.
Snapper fishing's not just snapper fishing. You got snapper out here, you got snapper down south, you got snapper New Zealand, you got snapper up in the bay. But for the snapper that you're asking me about, where I fish for snapper, which is here on the Goldie, as I say, 30-pound braid, 40-pound fluorocarbon leader, a couple of 4Os, 5Os, 6Os or 7Os. In octopus, not circle, just straight octopus suicide with the point sticking up like that. Sinker to suit the drift, the wind, the current, the whatever, to get you in the zone. Simple as that. That's all you got to do.
That's it.
Get it in the zone. Yeah, get it to where the fish are.
And you prefer the bait casters, obviously?
I do. Yeah, I do. I know a lot of people like spin, but when you got the line going and you're trying to get a bail arm over and it's all falling apart, like what happened the other day.
A couple of weeks ago, yeah.
And all I've done is I've just gone with my thumb, click, and I'm in gear.
Perfect.
Yeah, and and my thumb's everything. My thumb is have I got the fish on? No, I haven't, so I can just let it go again. I'm not reaching for a bail arm or using this hand for anything. I don't need that hand at all to catch the fish. It's all in here. You know what I mean? I've let it out. I'm just feathering it with that thumb. I feel the bite. I know when it speeds up. I can just apply a little bit of brake, lift, and you've always got enough pressure in your thumb to pop a hook in. Every time I go snapper fishing, it's a new set of hooks. There's no such thing as saving a set of hooks, cutting them off for the next trip. No, you've used them once, they both come off, and you dump them and you put a new set on. It's simple as that.
That's a big tip. You know, if you guys have used a rig, anything fishing, you know, get rid of it. Start again, fresh hooks.
Yeah. Every time I go to get ready for a snapper fish, there's new leader, a new knot, new hooks.
Lastly, your rod?
Oh, the rod, okay. The rod, I like something reasonably fast. I like something reasonably crisp and responsive. I like something that has tip action but locks out. You know what I mean? I don't like a rod that just that barrels over all the way through here. I like something that's sort of stiff. Once it gets to that guide, definitely once it gets to this guide here. There's nothing worse than a rod being bent over and the line rubbing here. I hate that.
Yep.
I like it to be solid through there, all the way through, hard, and then the tip just fold away.
So
It's
sort of like a fast taper or something, fast action?
yeah.
Would you recommend?
Yeah. Like I use, like this is great for me light stuff. I use the live fibre ones. The live fibre because I think they insert a section there and then you've got a solid section down. I like that feeling of just being able to feel it lock out and you know that there's no more and you can just give it to it, you know what I mean? Get under it and just get them off the bottom because sometimes they'll brick you. Mate, some of those big boys,
Yep.
oh yeah, if you don't hold on, you've got every bit of drag on there and you got your thumb on the spool still and she's still going hard. You know what I mean? You need something that just gets to a point and locks out. So you do need a rod that locks out. These are good for most snapper.
And how many kilos? So if
Oh,
you're going to your tackle store, what would you ask for?
Oh, these are about a 6 to 10. This is a PE. This is actually a PE 3 to 5. PE's only, well, they say 30 to 50 pound, but it's not really that. This, as I say, this is 30 pound, and yeah, that'll get most snapper in. This rig will get most Gold Coast snapper in. No worries at all.
Well, it did last time.
Yeah, smooth drag. Got to have smooth drag. Can't have a jerk. Got to have smooth drag.
Perfect. So that's basically your rig setup.
That's
start and finish.
Yeah.
So another thing is, before I ask you my last lot of questions.
Yeah.
Bait.
Bait.
What
Okay.
bait do you go for?
Here's the big question with bait. If I'm going out for a morning bite, I'll always use pilchard and squid. Reason is, if you miss that morning bite by going to the bait grounds and trying to jig bait and find bait, and you get out there 10 minutes after the sun's up, you're done. You know what I mean? If you're going for a morning fish, either go the afternoon before and get your liveys. If you're using live scad or slimy mackerel, defrost your bait first. If you're using pillies, don't put a frozen rock hard pilly on because they float. Have them defrosted before you're on the way out. You're defrosting them in your bait tank or somewhere. Squid's good, so squid's really good at the start of the season. Your pillies through the middle of the season. Now if you're going for an afternoon fish, yeah, go out and get your liveys. You know what I mean? A lot of guys do their afternoon fishing. We go out for an afternoon session out off here. As I say, if you've got a moonrise in the afternoon and it's a couple of hours just coming on to dusk, great. Go out at 2:33, spend an hour, get a bait tank full of liveys, and use that same rig, and just fish with those. But yeah, live yakkers, slimies, squid, pillies, got to be fresh. Got to be fresh. And the third thing, got to be fresh. Yeah,
Got to be fresh.
got to be fresh. Yeah.
So you do a lot of presentations at different tackle stores around the Gold Coast and get to talk to a lot of fishers, and they've got millions of questions, you know.
Yeah.
Hey, tell me this bit.
Yeah.
What are a couple of the most common questions that they hit you up with?
Oh, I suppose the most common question is, where do you go to get your fish?
Out at sea.
Yeah, out at sea. Yeah, well, mate, you've got to go find your own spots. As I said, use the GPS spots that they give you at these seminars. That'll get you in the zone. But once you get out there, there's no substitute for using your own sounder and sounding around. You've got to use your own sounder. You've got to sound around. You've got to find fish on it. That's the spot to go fishing.
And marking your spots as
Yeah,
well.
yeah.
You can create your own.
Oh yeah. You go out and you map your own spots. Yeah, because the mark that he gives you, the GPS coordinates, may not be exactly the same. So just use it to get you in that zone. Spend 5 minutes, 10 minutes scouting around. You know, everybody wants to go to the GPS spot, drop, catch a fish. No, it doesn't happen like that, sorry. Go to the spot, scout around, see some fish on your sounder, work out your drift.
And once you build up that map, well, you go back again, try them again, and
Yeah,
see how they go.
Well, you build up heaps over the years. I suppose the other questions are things like we've covered, you know, what baits, what lures, what this, what that. You know, there's dozens of different ways to catch snapper. I've only sort of gone into the way I use with bait.
It works.
It works. We do use downriggers and trial lures for them as well. We do use flies. We do. There's a whole you know, soft plastics. I could go on for ages. I suppose the biggest thing is go sort out a method that suits you.
Yep.
You know.
Good simple advice. What's the biggest snapper you've ever caught?
Oh mate, I've got measured ones, which are in the 90s, but when we were young and we used to go out with, when I was working with Aaron on the commercial boats, mate, some of them were massive, like, I mean, big snapper, over a metre long. But I'm talking, that was in, no, that was 30 years ago.
Where are they now?
Oh, mate, yeah, I know. I wish I knew. Oh, there's a few spots where I know, but I just won't let that out on the video.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, mate. There wasn't too much catch release back then, was it?
No.
Well, there you go. There's Benny Smith from Ship Faced Fishing. Make sure you check out his channel on YouTube, and also give us a big subscribe. It's down there somewhere. Thumbs up as well. Feel free to comment. We'll see you guys next time on Coastfish TV. Boom.
Cut.
Yeah.